Welcome friends. In this short video, I'll show you that what is concatenation and how we can split a file into multiple parts. Now in real world scenarios, you encounter many times this dilemma that if you have got multiple text files, like maybe file 1 and file 2 and so on and so forth. Let's say you have got 10 text files. And what you want is that you want to create a file out of these 10 files, and let's just call that file maybe file. So what we want is that contents of all these 10 files should be placed into one file. Now that is the concept where concatenation comes in, and it's a word which really means is that concatenate or put one file, then another file, and then the contents of the third file, and so on and so forth till all the files have been, or all the contents from the files have been put into one file. Now the command is very simple. We just use cat, which is short for concatenate, and then the file names that we want to concatenate. Now by default, the output of this cat command, it is displayed on standard output or on the terminal screen, but we can redirect the output by using this redirect switch or redirect operator and into a different file. On the other hand, what split does is that if we have got a file and we want to break it into multiple parts based on different criteria, like the number of files that we want to create, or how long should be the, or what should be the size of a file, or how many lines should be in there, how many bytes. Based on those criteria, we can define the parts or the number of files using split command that a file will be broken into. So we can define that this file, if it has got, let's say maybe 100 MB, then we can define that it should be broken into 10 files, and each file should be having 10 MB. So we can do that using split command, and let's just head over to the terminal and let's see how we can use these two commands to join the files or to break them into parts. So here we are. I'm on Ubuntu machine and I'm in my home directory. Let's see the contents of this home directory, and now let's try to create some files so that we can use the cat operation on that. And a simple way is to, let's say, echo number 1 and then redirect it into a file. Once I do that, this 1 digit, it will be put into a file 1, which will be created after I execute this command. So I press enter. Likewise, create second file, call it, put 2 in there, create third file, put 3 in there, create fourth file, put value of 4 in there, fifth file, and put a value of 5 in there. Now if I do ls, we see that indeed we have got these 5 files, and if I do a long listing by typing in ls-l, we see that since we have put in 1 digit in each file, so each file is of 2 bytes long. Now let's try to see what's the output of cat for all these files if we want to join these files. So I type in 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, and if I press enter, then we see that it has tried to, or indeed it has concatenated these 5 files, and these are the values that we had put in there. So these are not the file names, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the values that we have put into these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 file names, and these are the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like the first file was taken, all the contents were put, then starting from the next line, second file contents were put into the file or on the standard output, I should say, and so on and so forth. Now if we want to put the output of this into a separate file, we can do that by typing in or redirecting the output to a file, and let's just call it maybe output. So once we do that, and now if we have a look at the contents, I can do that by typing in cat or concatenate. It's just like more. We can do the more command to see the output, or we can do vi to go into the editor mode and then see the output, or we can simply use cat command so that whatever is written in that file should be displayed on the standard output. So I type in cat and output, and indeed we see that the contents of the file have been concatenated using that cat command and put into output file. Now if I do an ls, we see that we have this output file, and let's try to do one thing. Let's just remove these 5 files. So I type in rm1 2 3 4 5, and if I do ls, all the files have been removed. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna use the split command, and let's try to split this output file into a byte size of 2 each, because now we know that each number is taking 2 bytes, and also give it a suffix. So let's try to do that. Let's use the split command and define a byte size of 2 and give the suffix with a length of a. So I type in -a1, and this a1 means that if I'm using a suffix, then how many characters should be appended after that suffix. So I say that only 1 character should be appended, and after that I put in the file name, which is output, and the suffix that I want to use. So I want to use the suffix as let's say split underscore. So once I do that and I press enter, and now if I do ls -l, we see that indeed it has created 5 files whose suffix is split and whose character that we have appended after suffix is ABCD, only 1 character. If I had not put in 1, by default it uses, I believe, 2 characters or 3 characters. We can check it out, but look at this one, that only 2 bytes have been put into each file. So these are very much, I would say, very much handy commands, that concatenate and split. And split is like if you have got a large file and you want to create multiple files of equal size out of that file. Maybe you are doing, having a numbering series, and you want to assign those numbering series based on certain packages to your customers. Then like a pay cards, then you can generate that pay card using split command. Like you have got one big chunk of data and you can divide it based on certain package schemes that you have got. So I would say real handy commands. Now that's all there is to it as far as concatenation and splitting is concerned. I hope you have learned from the video, and I would like to thank you for viewing.